Starts now.
This is breaking news now from today's TMJ4.
And that breaking news, the totals are in: a colossal number of Milwaukee murders in August. Police Chief Ed Flynn says the Milwaukee murder rate last month was higher than Chicago's and the highest in decades.
Of the 93 murders in Milwaukee so far this year, 24 happened in August. That puts Milwaukee's murder rate last month at 4 per 100,000. Chicago's was just over 3.
Eric Ross was at the Chief's news conference and joins us live now with what the Chief had to say. Eric.
Good afternoon. Yeah, to put those numbers into perspective, Chicago, if you look at physical number of shootings and homicides, that number is much higher than Milwaukee. But the way this data is sorted is per 100,000 residents. And so when you take the number of homicides, which was 24 in the month of August, and compare that to our population here in Milwaukee when compared to Chicago's, that's where we got the higher murder violence rate. And the chief says that's really concerning. Since 1991, we have not seen a murder rate as high as what we saw in the month of August. Of course, some of that had to do with the unrest that unfolded with the violence and the protests near 44th and Hour. The chief did want to encourage people to take a look at the bigger picture. Although Seville Smith is making headlines week after week, he also wants people to know that there were 5 homicides on the day that Seville Smith was shot. And Chief Flynn says it really needs to stop. The violence has to stop, and the key here is getting the community to not just complain and protest, but to talk about these issues and provide as much information as possible to police so that they could solve these types of crimes.
I would urge many of those who are most vocal in their criticisms of the police department to lend some of their energy and some of their concern to the extraordinary rates of violent crime that are afflicting us, the extraordinary easy availability of high-quality firearms for the perpetrators of those crimes, and the significant shared danger the members of the community and this police department face trying to confront this serious problem.
And one of the biggest ongoing battles here within the city of Milwaukee is getting illegal guns off the streets, getting guns out of the hands of criminals. Chief Flynn did take a quick moment to address that within the last 2 years, more than 4,000 people were arrested for having guns that they should not have had. And out of that same time period, 150 people were arrested for the same offense, pointing to a justice system Chief Flynn says is simply too lenient. Now, coming up in our next hour on the news at 6, we'll talk about one of the biggest challenges police face when it comes to solving these types of crimes, and it has to do with witness intimidation cases. For now, that's the very latest. Reporting live downtown, Eric Ross, today's TMJ4.
Very disconcerting. Thank you very much, Eric.